What's up, everybody? It's MARKPIRES. It's Friday. And it's a Real Talk 101. Real Estate 101. And I'm with you with my special makeshift microphone. Mic stand. Yeah, the other one kind of fell apart last night. But that's what happens when you use it every day for 691 days. You're bound to break it. Anyway, my friends, we're going to just make this a short and sweet Real Talk 101. Share a couple things I've been seeing in the marketplace. Apparently there's a second wave. Or is it just the first wave that finally is continuing to reach the rest of the country? Regardless, I would say that right now is a scary time in this country. Everyone's freaking out. And I get it. I totally get it. Tom, my buddy Tom, how are you, pal? It's not a competition, guys, on the Real Estate 101 broadcast, but if it was, Tom would be the champion. Tom, so good to see you, bud. We're chatting it out today. Today is a Real Talk Real Estate 101. We had a fire show last night. Tom, I told you at the very end, I said, the show will get blocked. I played that final clip, episode 34, and yeah, they blocked the show. So right now what we're doing is editing it, trying to cut it out so it will be available hopefully at some point today. But currently, if you go to look at yesterday's show on YouTube, you will get the old, oh, it's blocked. You can't watch this content. It's illegal. Trinity, how are you? So good to see you. Trin, did you happen to check out your jam from last night? We rocked your song last night. That song was awesome. But the problem is right now it is blocked. So you can't get in there to see it unless you go to, I think Facebook has it. Facebook, DLive, maybe there's a replay there. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I'm here with you on Friday. Not just once. This is a two-part show today. This is the real estate segment. If you have any questions, any comments, anything you want to discuss at all, in fact, let me throw this up on the screen. If you guys want to call in, this is a call-in show because I want to talk to you about real estate. If you're in the market, looking to buy or sell, or you have friends who are looking to buy or sell, I can help. No matter where you are in this country, you don't have to be in New York or Connecticut. I can help you anywhere. And the only reason that is true is because we have something called referrals. This is what I want to talk to you about, or what I keep reminding the Real Talk family about. So, there's an agent in the town next to me. And this is when I used to be at my old firm. Every single month, there's top agents, top 3 agents, okay? Every single month, she was a top agent. Like number 2, number 1, number 2, maybe number 3 every once in a while. Never saw her. Never even saw her. I don't even know if she exists. I think she's just a face on a piece of paper. And so I asked my manager, I'm like, how is this Edenea, I think her name. I was like, how is Edenea always like top agent, but I've never seen her in the office? He said all she does is refer. She works, she hangs out at home, I don't know. She makes phone calls and she sets up agents all over the country for friends and for family members, and she kills it every year that way. Now, for 13 years, I've been here doing transaction to transaction myself. I've sent a few referrals out there, but I've never taken advantage of referral business. It's a huge part of a real estate agent's business. And I never, ever take advantage of it. Why? Because it only happens when someone says, hey, I'm in Minnesota and I want to buy something. And you as an agent say, you know what, I can help you. So I'm coming out here with my megaphone and reminding you guys that I can help. If you find some solace, you find some peace, you find some connection from Real Talk, I can tell you what I do during the day is very similar to what I do with you every single night. I connect with my clients, I provide extreme value, and I keep them entertained. So, if you're buying or selling, let me do these things for you. Negotiate the best deal for you. Entertain you in the process. And there's nothing wrong with a little real talk as well, just to pass the time. So how's everybody doing? Oh, Sig's listening. He's got his eyes. He's driving. Sig, you're awesome. We love you, buddy. Jeremiah, how you doing? Bex, I'm sending you a list on the beat seat. Bex had a great idea. Listen, you know what? Life's about opening up your mind to new opportunities. We, as Beat Seat, are not in Europe. We're not in Norway. We're not in other parts of the world. We're in the United States and in Canada right now. When you're a mom and pop company like BeatSeat and you're building on order, hand building, these aren't like made in China. These are hand built in the United States. And we're hand building each one of these with pride. And we're growing as we grow. We can't get too big and fall apart. So we take it day by day. But what we do look for and hope for is individuals, affiliates out there who say, you know what? I think I can help out. I think I can maybe sell some of these and bring them to my part of the world. And that's a great thought because the product is insane. I mean, you hear me playing it every day. It's so much fun to play. I'm dropping some frames, which is kind of an interesting thing because shouldn't be happening. But the BeatSeat is a lot of fun. I'm going to send that to Bex because if Bex can line it up to either sell to, there's a few thoughts I had. You could be anywhere in this country and have music shops that currently are carrying cajones. Yeah, cajon's a drum. Everybody has the cajon. The BeatSeat is the evolution of the cajon. It basically puts every cajon into antiquated territory, which, if you were one of the big guys who's selling a product and there's a guy who has a patent on something that you can't sell, you're going to do everything possible to suppress, just like YouTube suppresses the positivity and everything else we do here. These huge companies that sell drums are not going to work with us unless they try to buy us out, which I don't know. I mean, look, I don't want to be in the drum business. I don't want to be like building drums every day of my life. I created something cool that could help this planet in multiple ways. Musicians can perform alone and they don't have to worry about finding someone and paying someone to back them up. You could do it all by yourself. I think about it this way. If a BeatSeat costs $300, $300 US for a hand-built drum that sounds like a drum kit, $300, and it costs you $100 every time you play a gig to hire a drummer. In 3 gigs, you just bought yourself that drummer. And every day for the rest of your life, you are the drummer while you play your guitar. It's a drum kit. That's just my feet. Really? Oh, so much fun. Jeremiah said you should sell it to head shops. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. There'd be a lot of, you know what it should be is like, here, we have so many thoughts on the BeatSeat. I'm just share a few things. If at every university, every college in this country, during these multiple times a year, you have exams. This is a very stressful time. Stressful time. Exam time, right? There should be a BeatSeat room. At every single college, every university, every school. So if you have a child who's going through a little bit too much that day or just needs to let out some of that stress, you head over to the BeatSeat room, put on your headphones, listen to your favorite song, and you get into it. And I'll tell you what, guys, this thing right here is not only an energy builder. You see what it makes me do every day with you. I got no one else in this room with me. I go from here to here to here to here to here because of the BeatSeat. It's having another musician in the room with you. This is the only way to explain what the BeatSeat truly is. It's having another musician in the room with you. Amplifying your level, amplifying your energy. The beautiful thing is that musician is you. That musician doesn't have to be another person. It's 2 musicians in one. It's you acting as the other musician. You are generating, self-generating energy through the BeatSeat. I mean, that is something right there. I'll show you just so you can see the BeatSeat right here. That is something to marvel at. Building your own positivity with a drum. How is this possible, Mark? Well, I don't know if it's because I'm an audiophile. I think it's because I'm an audiophile. But as an audiophile, when I hear this, that kick, and if you felt how deep it is, if you actually had this through your speakers in your house, you'd be like, whoa. When I hear it, I can visualize a dude behind me like, and I'm like, but it's not, it's me. It's so much fun. I've never had more fun in my life playing music. I talked to a bass player that I used to play music with, Joe. Joe Sanchez is amazing. Great bass player. I'm going to actually play you guys one of the tracks we did, one of my original instrumentals we did at a place called the FTC here in Fairfield, Connecticut back in 2006. And it's a fire instrumental. And Joe, this dude on the bass is like, and our drummer, Thierry Arpino, who's one of my first beat seat artists as well. Fire. I should actually pull that up for you guys and play it while we're live right now. I'll do that. But Joe, called him up yesterday because I said, Joe, it's funny. It's not going to work. I thought at first it would, but it's not going to. I said, Joe, I had this idea. I want to bring people on to jam with me live, Zoom. I'm on the beat seat, rocking out a tune, and Joe's there rocking out the bass. So I says to Joe, Joe, what do you think? He says, Mark, I love that idea, but it's not going to work. So what do you mean, Mr. Negative? What do you mean it's not going to work? How dare you? He said it can't work because the internet, there's a lag, there's going to be it's a latency issue. You're going to strum that guitar and sing it, and it's going to get to me, and the timing's just not going to work out. It never works out. I said, yeah, but I've been seeing a lot of people do Zoom Lives. He goes, no, they're not doing Zoom Lives. They're all recording their own parts separately. And then they're putting it into like a Brady Bunch thing, so it looks like they all did it in Zoom. Like, really? So nobody's doing like actual live jams? I guess not. I am wondering if there's a way to do it, because I want to jam with people live. I want to get in guitar players, bass players, drummers. Our buddy Aloy, I'm not sure if Aloy will tune in because he's currently working, but Aloy comes on and hangs out with us. He's one of my clients as well, and he's an amazing drummer. There's a great video of he and I, early on, real talk, I don't know, 70, 80 days in. He's on the beat seat, I'm on a beat seat, and we were jamming out together. That was pre-snare wires. The snare wires all came in later. But at the time, it was snareless. It's just a box that sounded awesome. The snare takes it to a whole different level. It sounds like a full drum kit now. So I'm looking forward to it. Aloy and I are actually going to jam out this weekend a little. Going to look at some properties, I think. And then we're going to jam out. And I love playing with other musicians. I really do, because I get the same feeling I get. That's right, when I play my beat seat. There's something special about it. There's something special about it. And the other thing that came to us, this was a more recent understanding of this. Let me see, show it to you again. Of this amazing drum right here. So, my daughter has a birthday party. Let me see, I'm just going to shut off this other mic, this other camera. Yeah. My daughter has a birthday party. My daughter's, now she's 10. And so I says to her, what do you want to have come over? She has all of her girlfriends over and this one little boy who has special needs. Not like, by special needs, that is such a broad term. The little boy has autism, and my daughter hangs out with him. And she's always friends with him, and he's friends with they're very, very friendly. And she's like the one person that always comes is this little boy. She always wants to include him, which I love. If there's something I want all of us to do more of in life, it's to include others that aren't the same as us. And so she includes this little boy in this party again. And that's great. So we have the party, we're over there, and I just happen to have a few beat seats in one of the rooms. And we have like an open thing, so you're kind of moving around room to room. And somehow the kids got into the beat seat room. And they're all sitting on beat seats. And this little boy's sitting on the beat seat, and he's playing, and he's having a great time. And I don't think anything of it. I don't know anything about anything. What the heck do I know? I'm a guy who invented something for musicians. I'm a real estate agent. I don't... She comes and taps me on the shoulder, jokingly. She's like, you invented a sensory therapy drum. And I looked at her, I swear, this is the funniest thing in the world. I go, what's that? I had no idea what a sensory therapy drum is. She said, it's a huge thing. There's not enough. She said, my child, other children, they need to find a way to connect. And these sensory drums, these sensory therapy drums, if you want to call them that, they open up a new channel for people that cannot connect the way you and I do. And she said, you created that. And I'm like, what? And I look at her son, smiling ear to ear, just jamming out, smiling from ear to ear. And she said, you need to get this to all of the different facilities, to all the different music therapists. You need to get this to West Music. You need to get this out to the world because this is going to help people. And all of a sudden I hear this like alarm go off in my head. I'm like, hold on a second. I was put on this planet to connect every single soul to the light. I know it. And then I invent something that selfishly I think is for me as a musician to be able to play shows by myself. Also winds up being the first drum you could sit completely upright and play with your hands and feet at the same time. There's no other cajon that you could do this. Nothing else. And I'm sitting completely upright while I do it. So it's just an amazing thing when you have one trajectory and all of a sudden it's like, wait, there's another path here, buddy. Because what you invented unintentionally is potentially the most powerful sensory drum that exists. And why do I say that? Because when I do this, I didn't realize I feel it coming through my entire body. I didn't realize that when I do that, I feel that vibration coming through my entire body. I didn't realize that that has a vibrational effect. And then I start thinking about it. And I'm like, look, I'm not sensory. I'm not like too sensitive to the sensory aspects. But if I start to think that way, every single start feeling around. We have omnitone. Everywhere you hit it sounds different. Therefore, everywhere you hit it feels different. So if you're somebody with a sensory need, you have unlimited access to vibrational feeling that you can't get. You know, every other thing is going to give you one or two different vibrations. This will give you an unending amount of vibrational effect. So, first drum for guitar players. First drum, a drummer can sit upright and play with his hands and feet at the same time. Powerful sensory therapy drum. You don't have to have autism. You could just be depressed. This will bring you to a level. You could just have something that's not feeling right and you just need to find a way to level yourself up. And Real Talk should do it. But outside of that, when you want to just sit around and you're listening to your favorite music, you could just sit. I always joke that this is my cowbell. Oh, guys, it's so much fun to play. I don't know if you can tell. I smile whenever I hear the tone of the beat seat coming at me. I don't have a reaction to the vibration. It's just a natural byproduct of playing my beat seat. But for someone who is totally connected to sensory, to the vibration of the thing that they're sitting on or playing or holding, this thing is going to take them to a whole different world. And we've been selling them to music therapists. We've been selling them to facilities. A couple facilities here in Connecticut now using the beat seat instead of cajons. And that's amazing. But when you are mom and pop, you can't hit every music therapist at once. You need to grow, just like Real Talk, grassroots. So, getting back to my original point, Bex sends a message, says, you know what, maybe I can sell this to a bunch of, all the musician friends I have here. And why not? I now have new affiliates that are part of this program that you can go, My Patriot Supply, you can go and get all of your prep supplies at My Patriot Supply. Down below, use the link. It helps my show. It helps me. You can get Noble Gold Suit. I'll have that later today for you. You can get Xpressmist, which is an amazing way for you to stay safe during this pandemic. Plandemic is to make sure you sanitize every single thing that you come in contact with Xpressmist nanofoggers. And these products are all now supporting this program, by being a product that is an affiliate. So therefore, we're going to open up an affiliate program for BeatSeat. And this is how it's going to work. Bex, I'm going to send you some information on this. But the thought is if we have a sales force out there of people who are sharing what this product does, okay, then there's a commission to be made on every single sale. And yes, if you sell 10, you could get it probably at a reduced rate, that type of thing too. But every sale will have a commission. So if you could say sell 10, you know, and they range between $300 and $500. You can get a $600 beat seat, of course, if you wanted to go crazy, walnut and flame maple or whatever. But, you know, you're talking about like $300, you can get an awesome beat seat. This model right here is the Sunburst model of the beat. I think it's like $325 for Sunburst, $329 or something like that. And I don't know if you could see this, but look at this. Are you kidding me? This is the most ridiculous thing in the world right here. This is a Sunburst beat seat. Look at that. Are you kidding me? This is insanity right here. Like, to me, I love wood, but because I've created a Sunburst one, this is the one I'll play every day of my life. I just love Sunburst. Hello? Hello? It's the same exact thing. It's the same exact thing. Look it. They are matching. I mean, essentially, this is a Gibson and then this is a beat seat, so it's not exactly the same, but I mean, if I took the side to you and I said, hey, look, you know, does that not look cool as heck to have a Sunburst beat seat? I mean, crazy. Totally crazy. Oh, guys. I mean, yeah, we started talking about real estate and what happened. Look, I'm still missing a string here because I'm missing, that's right, a tuner. I put the tuner on. Wait, I put the tuner on? I put the tuner on, guys. All right, so we can play this tonight. I just have to put some strings on it. I will do that. So wait, Beck says there's approximately 6,000 Norwegians over here. Nothing for people who live... You know what? And that's the thing. So Bex, here's a great thing. I never heard of Long and McQuaid. I'm in America. What the hell do I know about anything? So I never heard of Long and McQuaid. And then we find out from one of my wife's contacts. My wife runs the beat seat. Okay. I'll tell you guys, my wife runs the beat seat. She's phenomenal at it. I can't split myself up even more. I'm trying to create business in real estate. I'm trying to get Real Talk to connect this world and have that be something. And she runs Beat Seat. And she comes across somebody on LinkedIn. She's got a ton of followers on LinkedIn and whatever, friends. And one of her friends says, I think this is the coolest product in the world. Have you ever thought about sending it up to Long and McQuaid in Canada? That's where I'm from. And I'm like, I never heard of that. What's Long and McQuaid? I know Sam Ash and I know Guitar Center. That's what we have in America, okay? So we do a little Google search. The biggest music supply store in Canada. Something like crazy, 80-something stores in Canada. I'm like, this is the Guitar Center of Canada? Yeah, it is. And guess where the Beat Seat is now? When you want to go and play a Beat Seat in person and try it out. Long and McQuaid in Canada. They placed an order. They're like, yeah, you know what? We can use this. Sorry, Tom had this earlier. Let me see. How long after a foreclosure can one regain the ability to obtain funding for home loans or using the VA home loan again? The VA home loan, now this I'm not certain of, Tom, but I'm pretty sure the VA home loan is for first-time home buyers. I'm not certain, but I know you have this option as a first-time home buyer to put down as low as 3.5% to purchase a home, which is a huge deal for someone who's just getting started. If it's something that has to do with... that may be difficult, but you may be able to still get a VA loan. Now, were you in the military? Because if you were, then I think you can always get a VA loan, but I'm not certain on that either. Let me look into that, actually. I can look into that for you. But I would say this. How long after foreclosure can one regain ability to obtain funding? That's a better, forget about the rest of it with the VA loan. How long after a foreclosure can one regain the ability to obtain funding? You know, I'm tempted to do is like, because again, this is going to be a call-in show. I'm tempted to call a mortgage broker that I know, like right now live, and just be like, hey, you're on the air. What do you think? How long does it take? Here's what my thing is. It's probably, now I've heard some things before. You know, I wouldn't want to give an answer without actually looking into it, but I'm curious, maybe we could call a mortgage broker and get an answer right now. Let me think about this. Who would I call? Who would be okay with me calling and having them live on the air? I can't think of anybody right off the top of my head. But you know what, Tom, I'll look into that one today for sure. I'll ask a couple people I know and see if anybody can give me an answer on that. Because that is something obviously you have to get past a period of time in order for them to know that you're getting yourself back up to where you need to be. I think obviously that's going to hurt your credit massively. So they may require more down, something like that. I feel like there's always a way to do something. So if you had a way to get enough of a down payment, you can get someone to loan you the rest if you're buying. I'm pretty sure. I want to just quickly say here, hold on. Let me roll through here real quick. Daniel, my brother, got your messages earlier. Thank you so much. I intended to respond, but it's crazy trying to put a deal together with this one property I've been trying to sell for months. And I got another one that's like falling apart, trying to get that back. Oh, Tom, thank you so much, brother. I love you. So my mind is kind of scattered during the day. I've explained this to you guys before, but the way real estate works is this. I don't get paid. I work every single day on commission. So my hope is that I'm going to find a client. I'm going to help them trade a piece of property, and then I'm going to make money. So every day I'm working for free. And it gets kind of frustrating when you do a good deal, you put a good deal together, and something happens that you have no control over, And this is a good example. I've got a condo in Stamford, Connecticut that it's been on the market for a year. I've had 4 deals fall through. There's an assessment that is the most ridiculous assessment. Let me just give you an example. The assessment coming up is 1/5 the value of the entire unit. 1/5 the value of the entire unit. And so somebody who would typically be paying $220 a month for association fees is going to be paying $700 plus a month to get this unit. Now, if I'm a buyer and I could buy any unit, why would I buy one that has a $700 a month association fee / assessment? I wouldn't. And that's why we've had such an issue. I finally get someone who's like, I'll take it. I love it. I'll take it. And it's just been like pulling teeth. Now I'm like doing an open house there on Sunday because I think that deal's about to fall through. And so this is the stressful thing about being a realtor, and why in a perfect world, if the Real Talk team reminded themselves whenever they hear the word real estate, they're like, oh, Mark's a realtor. Let me give this person Mark's email and tell him this costs you nothing. This guy will research and find you the best agent wherever you're looking. That's what I do. It's free of charge. Again, I work for free anyway, so I have no problem doing this. Been out here for $691 in a row for free. I'm here to bring this world together, but my business, I do more than I should, okay? And this is not a more than I should. This is what referrals are. When you call, so just here's a good example. Let's just say, Angelo, my brother, how are you, pal? Let's just say, for example, Hilly, how you doing, bud? Let's just say Tom was like, hey, Mark, I want to buy a property, but I'm down in Phoenix, and you're in Connecticut, so you probably can't help me. Hold on a second, Tom. You're mistaken. Because I can help you. Here's what I would do is I would call the Berkshire Hathaway office in Phoenix, and I'd say, hey, look, who's the manager? Oh, Jim? Can I speak to Jim, please? This is MARKPIRES from New Canaan, Connecticut, from Berkshire Hathaway, New Canaan. I get good old Jim on the phone. Hey, Jim. How you doing? Look, I have a client who's looking for an agent in Phoenix, and I'd like to find, get a list of your top 3 to 4 agents who you think would do a great job. I'm looking for somebody proactive, somebody who can negotiate, and someone who's going to be there for my clients whenever they need something. Who do you got? Well, hey, Mark, that's great to meet you. I got Terry, Bill, Eric, and Chrissy. Okay, give me all 4 of them, please. Are you sure? Chrissy's my top agent. No, I'll talk to her, but I'd like to speak to the other 3 as well. Okay, I'll send them over. Now, keep this in mind. He just sent me 4 names. Of those 4 names, we know Chrissy's number 1. She's the number 1 agent in office. Problem with that is she's probably too busy to handle your business. Number 2 is usually who I'm very interested in speaking with, because number 2 really wants to be number 1. And they'll do whatever it takes to be number 1. They'll work as hard as they have to prove themselves. So I'm looking at number 2. I'm also looking at number 3, because guess what? Number 3 really wants to knock off number 2 to make their way to number 1. So these top 3 are very important for me to observe and to interview. I should take this off. There's no need to have this on now. But what I'm really looking for is an attitude. I'm looking for a sense that they're going to be me. It's a weird thing, but I'm literally looking for myself whenever I'm interviewing people for my clients. I'm looking to see things that I would be doing. And I ask questions and I expect the answers that I would give. And I know that's crazy because I got to tell you, my answers are very in depth. And I know I think about things a little differently than others. So when someone asks me a question, when it relates to real estate or anything else, my answers are unlike anyone else's. I know that. But I'm expecting that. I'm expecting something unique to come at me. I don't want to hear some boilerplate answer. Oh, well, if you go and you get your mortgage. No. I want to hear your spirit. I want to see who you are. And I want to see if you're going to be of value to this situation. Because here's what it really boils down to. My hope would be Tom is doing the right thing. And while he's looking for this agent, he's also interviewing 2 or 3 others. He's like, look, I gave Mark an opportunity to find someone, but I'm going to interview this person from this firm, this firm, and this firm and see if I like them. And Mark's going to find me some other person to also interview. So now it gets down to you making your decision. You're not just taking the person that I interviewed and I found for you. You're interviewing the others so you can prove to yourself that I found you someone even better. And if I didn't, you hire one of the other 3. So this is the benefit of this. You still do what you're going to do, but give me the chance to find you that 3rd or that 4th option so you can see if I found you someone better. If you do and you use them, that person, get this. This is the craziest part. It costs you nothing. That person that you hired, that I sent, is going to pay me a referral fee. Yeah. And the crazy thing is I know a lot of people are like, yeah, but that person's not going to want to take less because, that this person's not. We do it every day. I give referral fees out whenever a piece of business comes from me from somewhere else in this country, and I am happy to do it. As realtors, we are happy to pay out referral fees because we want business. So first thing you should realize is that you are a piece of business or you have a piece of business and you're going to hire somebody. Just allow me to find someone for you to interview. If you like them, use them. If you use them and they sell the property, they, not you, they are going to pay me, the Real Talk Show, a referral fee. And as I said, that agent in Darien, every single month, number 1 agent, I'm like, how is she doing it? Because she is referring people all over the country, all over the world, and her friends, her family just know whenever the word real estate comes up, I call Adenea, I think that's her name, and she just gets it going. And she's created a phenomenal business for herself. And so I'm here thinking to myself, all right, she's doing it. I've been out here every day just trying to bring us together. This is a world of people that needs to understand that good service is hard to come by, especially in real estate. So provide good service, and if someone has a need, hopefully they'll think of me. Long-winded, I know. That's it. Oh, Sharon, how are you? Sig, I was just telling everybody earlier about, again, you guys have to understand this nanofogger thing to me has been a lifesaver. And we are right now dealing with a second wave. I want to talk about this. My title for today. It's Real Estate 101, Navigating CV19 During This Second Wave. Now, I personally believe this is just the wave, okay? There's no second wave. This is just the way it is. You had a race war start in order to get a president out, and now you've got what you got. I don't want to hear anything else. It's ridiculous. Like, oh, well, and then you have the multiplier of every single company and every single school is requiring that you get tested before all these different events and daily tests. People who aren't sick are testing positive. And so now this rate, oh my goodness, the second wave. You know what? Yeah, we probably have more cases. We probably have more deaths because we have more cases. But you can't stop a virus. You can't pretend that you could stop a virus, Mr. President-elect. Oh, we're going to stop the virus. Oh, you are? Okay, snake oil salesman. You're going to stop the virus. Or are you going to try to give a vaccine to every soul on the planet so you can kill as many people as possible because there is a coming crisis called AI? What happens when all of a sudden everything's automated and there's no work for the bodies on this globe? Well, now you have a real problem, Mark. Famine. you have a problem. We need to get rid of as many as possible. How do we do it? Well, we need to get rid of this guy first. So we couldn't get rid of him all these other ways. So let's just drop this freaking thing on him. We didn't want to drop it, but let's just do it. We can't get rid of him. We try to get him out. 2 days after the failed impeachment on fake information, by the way, coronavirus is released in the news. It may have even been one day. It may have been the next day, actually. It's so silly to me that these people do this, and they're like, well, you know what? We'll drop it a day after or 2 days after, and no one will know. No one will know that we released it. We know what you did. And by we, that's the royal we, the Democrats / China. They're together on this. And this is conspiracy to the fullest, I know, guys, but let's be honest. When you learn the fact that during the vice presidential debate, they censored Mike Pence, so nobody in China saw Mike Pence speak, but every time Kamala Chameleon was speaking, magically Kamala Chameleon's back on, and she could be heard, and all of her horrible responses can be heard by the people of China. But not when Mike Pence was composed and actually had some information to share and made her look like the bumbling moron that her president-elect is. No, that you didn't see. That is odd. They censored the vice president so nobody saw him speak? Now, why would they do that unless they know the fix is in? Unless they know that there could be some rebellion in China if they see what's really going on here. Guys, they're dropping my frames. Oh my goodness. YouTube, you are the worst. Is there a Google mod in here? I guarantee you there's a Google mod in here right now. How much do you want to bet there's a Google mod in in our chat right now, guys? I got to stop talking about it. Look, the moment I stop talking about these things, yeah, stop serious. The moment I stop talking about it, frames back to normal. Yeah, wages. I'm getting buffered because we start talking about the truth. Whenever you start talking about the truth on YouTube or on any platform, really, it's just amazing. All of a sudden you start dropping frames. It's just a funny thing. That leads to complete drop off. So it starts with like a super drop where all of a sudden we were at 1%. Now it's jumped to 2.5% of my frames, which means most of them are probably, most of them are lagging at the moment. And it's because I went into real talk instead of just sticking on real estate. But you know what? This is my problem with the world, is you can't speak the truth. And when you do, you're suppressed. So I don't know what to say about it. All I can say is I can't stop being me. Right? Wages, my brother. Good to see you. You can't stop being yourself. And this is, my partial realization with the, it was kind of an epiphany that was thrown at me from wages the other day. YouTube's having issues in my area. Yeah, we're still dropping some frames, but we shouldn't be. But wages said the other day, I'm in a Democrat stronghold in Connecticut. I mean, 60%, roughly 60% of the people in my state are Democrat. 60% of the people in my state voted for a piece of furniture. Now, to me, that just baffles me. But while it baffles me, and I'm expressing myself that it baffles me, Wage's point is I basically shut off my career, my real estate business, to 60% of the market. And which is why I felt it breezy all of a sudden when we're in apparently the best market that's ever been, and I got time. I shouldn't have time. I should be so busy that I don't have any time. So, what I want to say to the world, if anybody has decided, well, I don't like Mark's perspective on things. I don't like that Mark supports the president of the freaking United States of America, sworn in president, duly elected. No, we should hate that man. Anybody who has a problem with the fact that I am just an American citizen who respects the presidency and respects whoever's sitting there, and I said it, if Sleep Sofa Joe gets in, that's my sleep sofa. That's my sleep sofa. And I have to respect the fact that he is the president, and I will. But when you, as a human being, decide that you're going to, shut off your ability to communicate, to work with people who have a different perspective from you, I would probably tell you that even the people that vote on your side, you have a problem with too. Nobody's the same on this planet. So you don't like my political leanings, but you are okay with that person's political leanings. Are you okay with that person's perspective on murder, on whatever else? You don't care, right? Because it's not the topic of the day. Look, I had to speak out. Day 400 in a row when I saw the State of the Union and I saw only positive things being said and I see the Democrats like this. That just pissed me off. Like, don't piss me off. Don't take the positivity, guys, trying to say, look, we all need to come together. Forget about the negativity. Forget about what's going on out there. And then I tune in to see the reason that it's going on is because the Democrats can't clap when their people that they pandered to every 2 and 4 years are actually seeing progress, actually seeing something happen. When 10 million people go to 3 million people on food stamps, you don't sit in the room like this. You go, that's great. The people we've been telling are going to come off of food stamps every single 2 and 4 year term are finally coming off of food stamps. You showed yourself. You showed your cards. You showed that all you care about is getting out the president. You don't care about America. And when I saw that, I had a hatred for you. I'm sorry, not for the people, but for those Democrat senators and those officials sitting there with that look on their face. 7 million people off of food stamps and nobody's clapping. Really? Like, what the? Are you serious? This is the other one that really got under my skin. Lowest unemployment in history. In history for everybody across the board. I was just about to say, start segmenting like they do. Well, the blacks and the blacks. Everybody across the board, lowest unemployment in history before they dropped the pandemic on us. And again, remember the whole pitch during the years. Oh, Donald Trump, he destroyed the economy. Excuse me, coronavirus destroyed the economy. You don't blame a virus on a president, you boneheads, but you believed it. You guys believed it. Nobody remembers the scientists at the beginning, the experts. If you do everything right, you still lose 200,000, 250,000 people by fall. If you do everything right. That's if you do everything right and you don't have a race war and you don't have people on the streets protesting for no reason. For no reason. Yeah, because everybody thought what happened to George Floyd was despicable. There's no reason to have a race war when everyone thinks it's despicable. It's just the narrative that you went with. Because you believed the fake news. But nobody out there was like, yeah, Chauvin, yeah, Derek Chauvin, you did the good thing there. Every person on this planet said, what a piece of garbage that Derek Chauvin is. So if he's a piece of garbage, where does the race war come from? Did you guys see anybody out there going, Chauvin, Chauvin, yeah. We got rid of another person. No, it was evil. Everyone thought it was evil. The creation of the race war was the intention. It was the delivery system of the mail-in voting fraud. Yes. The whole thing was planned out. If we can't get him out for impeachment, we drop the Fluhan, and then we take him out with the mail-in voting fraud. Because when we go in, it's not everywhere, and maybe it is, but if we just send enough to those places that we know, we're basically sitting pretty. The Democrat strongholds. Let's just send 7 to each one. Let's just create a plan where we lock out. Let's lock out the Republican viewers, whatever they call it, the ballot viewers. Let's put them in caches in different locations. And it's insanity. It's insanity. I'm getting a call. I don't know if this is a call-in or if this is somebody. Let me just check real quick. Hold on. 1 second, guys. Just getting us logged in over here. I have to get this. I don't know where my wire is. Give me 1 second, buddy. Here we go. Let's see if this works. Okay, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Ah, wonderful. So introduce yourself so everybody knows who's on with us.
Okay, my name is Todd.
Hey, Todd.
Chetler. Hi, Mark.
So where you said you're coming in from California?
Yeah, Riverside County.
So talk to me. What do you mentioned something about spraying. What are you hearing going on?
Yeah, I've been in and out of the hospital, and I've gotten all kinds of. Oh wow, I'm on TV. Okay.
We're losing you a little bit. See, can you go back a couple seconds?
I can go backwards from here, but there's more on that. My brother-in-law leaves for work early in the morning, and I got to turn you down.
Yeah, shut down the background. Be better so you can be heard.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I've been talking about this COVID thing because back in March or so, I experienced a day. I went outside. I got an infected foot, right, bone infection, and I was afraid to go in and get it taken care of because of the COVID thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was waiting for my landlord to come and talk to me because I had to get up and get dressed and everything and go out and meet him. So I'm sitting there, and I look up, and this is back in February or March. And I look up, and I see these chemtrails crisscrossing the sky, a checkerboard pattern. And because of my rural property, it's wide open spaces, and I see this multiple line where the chemtrails and the checkerboard pattern meet. This line was multiple layers, and no sooner than a day or two develops this thunderstorm, raging thunderstorm that went from one end of our country to the next. You know, flooding, hail, people died. So it made an impression on me. Thinking back, as this is going on, and the COVID thing breaks shortly thereafter that.
Interesting.
And this. Okay? Now, I've been listening to the news and how they're expecting a second wave coming. Haven't really experienced any chemtrails because I've been on lockdown in a nursing home because I had this big bag of antibiotics.
Mm-hmm.
And this morning, my brother-in-law comes and he posts pictures on Facebook of the sky this morning. He leaves for work at dark and gets to where he's going. And there's active chemtrails in the sky, nice tight patterns that go across the sky. And then there's these ones that are spread out all over the place. Now, they're spraying us again, and then they're talking about a second wave coming. And
Interesting.
that's how there's the super spreaders coming through us from the air we breathe. I'm positive.
So you think that the way that they're actually transmitting this to people is not the way we think? The way that's like you're walking around and you run into someone and you make contact and then now you have COVID. You think that these chemtrails start in the sky and then the delivery system is the rain. When the rain hits those chemtrails a day or two later, it takes it all down to the earth and disperses it to the people.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
But I think that the storm is to cover the fact of these high-level chemtrails being sprayed. You know, if it's dark, the clouds in the sky, nobody's gonna think that they're chemtrails. They're just gonna think of a cloudy sky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a very interesting theory.
Yes, it is a theory, but I feel in my heart that that's the way it's going.
Yeah.
I have been tested probably close to a dozen times being in and out of the hospital, and I've got compromised breathing now, and they tested me. I got all the answers in the world except probably the correct one. The first time I got tested, they said I had COVID. The second time, they said, no, you just got the antibodies. The third time, they said, it was a false positive. And then the next test after that, I was negative.
But here's an interesting thing. So your first one or the second one, they said you had the antibodies. The antibodies would say that you had corona then, because you don't get the antibodies unless you had it. So you did.
Right.
You were probably positive when you first got it, and it affected your pathways. So now you're still dealing with the after effects to this point?
Yeah, I'm on oxygen.
Oh, man.
Been on oxygen my entire life.
Oh, my goodness. Now,
But
you were on oxygen prior to that occurrence?
I had surgery on my foot in July, and I've been in and out of assisted living because of the fact that I was on IV antibiotics.
Wow. So you're dealing with this obviously from bedside.
Yeah, exactly. I'm staying with my sister now. She's been taking care of me like my mother. She's great. She's excellent.
That's awesome.
And, oh, yeah, it is. It really is. I probably wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for her. They had me on lockdown, and I had no visitors at all. Not even family could visit me.
That's terrible. You know, this is everything they did here was wrong. There's no other way to look at it. You have an entire nation who's been blaming the wrong person. And it's really a weird thing when you think about how there's been so much deception in order to lift this guy out of the office. The amount of fake information that's been forced on us since the beginning of this pandemic. And,
you know, his association with QAnon,
yeah,
he formed, this is what I've heard and read, that he formed that space, whatever you call it.
Yeah, the Space Force.
To kind of combat the chemtrail spraying because it's affecting people's health. But he didn't say anything about it being COVID sprayed.
You know, I think it's funny when you see a lot of the conspiracies form, like right after the election when you had people coming out and saying all these things like, oh, well, I know this and I know that. And I was like, well, you know, the things that were claimed right off the bat, I was like, if that was the case, when Donald Trump came out and started saying like, hey, we're going to dispute this, he would have led with those things. You know, like they had some serious stuff that they were claiming right off the bat. Well, we have this and then this. And I'm like, well, if you did, I'm pretty sure Trump would just come out and be like, this is what's going on and this is how it was done. But he came out pretty much like, we know they did it and we're looking into it. And it seemed like, I think a lot of people are very smart and they can sense where things are going and they start talking about it before it's actual truth. And therefore, sometimes the conspiracies are pretty close to reality because there are some very smart people out there who have a very good sniff test. They're able to see what's going on. They can just kind of sniff around and say, that doesn't seem right. There's something deeper there, you know?
Yeah, most certainly. Yeah, there's so many questions that don't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, the answers make sense.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy.
Well, look,
I feel this covered to the max.
I haven't had any experiences. I don't mean to cut you off. I haven't had any experiences myself with chemtrails. Like I know that it's a big topic online. I do think it would be a cool thing if there was a specialist, somebody who understands the ins and outs of it. I'd love to have him on and just have an interview and just ask some questions and learn a little bit more about it. Because there is a lot we are in the dark on. There's a lot going on they don't want us to know about, obviously. And there's a lot going on that we do know about that they continue to tell us isn't going on, like the alien situation. And you know, I saw something myself. And when someone tells me, oh, well, it's not real. And I know my eyes. I know what I see. And I know what's real and what's not. And when someone tells me, whoa, blah, 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 I'm like, you're the liar. My eyes don't lie, you know, like, and when you hear military specialists, there's like, I was flying that day. I'm in the U.S. Air Force and I saw, like, I'm not disputing that dude. You know, like that guy was trained and he's a military professional and he's got the gall or the chutzpah to come out and say, I saw that. And you're going to say that guy's a liar? He knows he's going to be ridiculed. He said it because he knows what he saw.
Yeah, exactly. It's like smoke and mirrors.
Mm-hmm. It's all smoke and mirrors, isn't it, my friend? I'm so glad you called in, buddy.
It's doing something nefarious So don't look at this hand. Look at this hand over here.
The old misdirection. That's right. It's the old magic trick. So what's your tag name on the show? Do you head into the chat at all?
I got turned on to you through Wages World.
Love it.
I've been watching you for like 3 weeks.
Oh, thank you, buddy. What's your name on the chat?
Well, I have an inner chat. I saw the number up. I called you.
I'm glad you did. I definitely, if you can, this show to me is about us interacting. Like, I'd love for you to get in the chat every once in a while and just say hi to everybody, because I'll tell you what, buddy, they will make you feel great. This platform is about us elevating each other. And I really hope, because I do see a lot of people are tuning in, but they're not talking in the chat. I want people to get involved, because I bring everybody into the show. And to me, you guys are so important to me. Like, I was broadcasting to zero for so long. When one person joins me, the show is about you, about that one person. So when 28 are on, if 30 are on, 50 are on, all 50 of you are in that show, are a part of that show. And all you have to do is say hello, and you will be in the show. And Jerry's here. Hey, Jerry. Chris, how you doing? Acts. And, Farkas is here, and Candace, and all of our favorite family members are back for my Real Estate 101 today, which consequently turned into a real talk.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
I didn't know how to get this out, because I know what I witnessed. I know what I saw. And this morning, the chemtrails, it's like starting up all over again, and here comes the second wave.
Yep.
I'll bet you anything we're going to have a major outbreak on the West Coast here.
You know what? Guys, keep in mind what you just heard, because if we do hear about this blast, now the other thing I would say is the middle of our country was pretty much doing great, and now that's the hot spot. This I could see, because you have so much open space there, this same scenario going down with a rain delivery system to take the virus, or maybe, here's a crazy thought, maybe introducing water or enough humidity into the air is what activates this thing.
It could be, but I think basically they had that storm go across the country so they could spray without being detected. They could spray without looking like chemtrails,
Interesting. I think it's an interesting theory. Regardless of it, I do know this was it wasn't made in China, but it was absolutely engineered and modified to be as contagious as possible. And interestingly, though, even though it's as contagious as it is, I truly believe you had CV and you got the antibodies because you recovered from it, and you actually are on oxygen. So that proves the point that it isn't what they tell us it is. Because if it was, and again, just statistics based on what they said, you wouldn't have made it, because you're on oxygen and you have an issue with your respiratory system already. So, and Donald Trump, 74, gets it, and 4 days later he's out like rallying like I've never seen anybody rally in my life. The guy's city to city, state to state, and he killed it. I've never seen anybody with his energy. And you got a guy with energy 4 days after CV19 who went out and took it to the nation, and a guy who's in a sleep sofa in his basement somehow got more votes than Barack Obama. Am I missing something? Am I missing something here? Oh my goodness. Crazy world we live in, guys.
I was even up until the point where I had to go, or else I was going to die from this infection, this foot infection. Mm-hmm. But I was monitoring my temperature with a digital thermometer every single day, about 6 or 8 times a day. And I never ran a temperature, never ran a fever. And I had extremely minimal contact with people. On my property, I was staying in a motorhome, and I even kind of blocked the doorway so nobody could step in, because I'm in a high-risk group. I turned 63 today.
Oh, happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you.
November 20th, 2020. I love it. Happy birthday. That is so cool.
Excellent year.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be an amazing year, because it couldn't have been any worse. Your 62nd year couldn't have been any worse when they put us into the cage that they put us in and said you can't go anywhere, because 99.7% of the people will survive. And I'm seeing so many scary things right now with the vax talk, and they're saying that all the stuff that's going on with these nanobots and changing our DNA, and I don't know, like, I don't want this thing. I don't want anybody that I know to get this thing, but I'm not taking a vaccine. If you want to throw me in jail for it, you can do that, but I'm not taking that vaccine. My kids are not taking that vaccine. My kids who will be having children one day, not taking that vaccine.
Primary care doctor told me like 4 times I was going to die if I didn't take the flu vaccine.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. He also told me that the pneumonia shot goes with it. Now, that's just the vaccine for the regular flu, I was told. So I was filling out this questionnaire. One of the questions was, are you allergic to chicken meat or chicken feathers? And I said, yeah, I'm allergic to chicken feathers, so I don't want the shot. And he came back in and he goes, oh, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. And if I slept on a feather pillow, I would get stuffed up to the max. Mm-hmm. And now it's all coming back. It's all like my allergies are just out of whack, and I get all stuffed up. I can't breathe. And they did x-rays, chest x-rays, and they said, you got a little scar tissue on your lungs, but you're all right. And I feel like I'm getting better and I'm getting stronger, and I will be able to, once I start walking on my foot again, I'll be able to get rid of this oxygen, at least on a temporary basis. But I'm on 24/7 right now.
You know what the key is, and again, I don't know because I'm not a doctor, but I think with everything in life is to take it at your pace. Don't, everybody gets advice, and your doctor's going to have advice for you. But take it at your pace. And I'd always say, whatever your pace is, push yourself a little bit, but don't go crazy. You know what I mean? Take it at your own pace, and you will recover. But the most important thing right now for you is to keep your stress levels down, because you're already dealing with a stress of what's going on with you in your health. So I'm so thrilled that you found this program, because I can tell you, while you're in the middle of recovering, I will throw positivity and light at you every day, my friend. And hopefully that will help you heal. It will help you stay in the light, stay above in the happiness that you deserve. And you'll get through this. And you know what? Your next year is going to be amazing as soon as you put all this crazy garbage that you had to deal with this year behind you. And I hope so. I hope in 6 months you call me and you're like, Mark, you're not going to believe this, and you tell me something, Because I always joke and I say that we, at times in our lives, we feel at our lowest. We feel like there's no way back. And what you will look back with complete gratitude one day, 6 months from now, 10 years from now, is that you had the strength to continue on, the strength to fight for tomorrow and to fight for your happiness.
Yeah. I would like to talk to Mark Wages also about this, because he's got all that weather information and stuff.
Yep.
He can find when that storm was that went from the west coast to the east coast. And at the time, I thought it was really strange. Usually they dissipate over dry land, and that's it. They dump some water.
Yeah.
But they kept it going to hide the fact that they were spraying us all with COVID.
You know what? Wages was on here a few minutes ago. Mark, you still on? If you are, here's something that for you guys all to know, which is going to be really cool. Wages and I are starting a second show. So we're going to do like this thing. It'll be random, like once a week or whatever, but we're going to do a show together where it's going to be a positivity show, kind of what I do here, but the two of us interviewing people, having people like you come on here and chat about your story and talk about just feel good stuff, good stories to get people, talking positively again. And I think it's the idea here is taking what I'm doing here, taking what he's doing on Wages World, and combining them into just a feel-good experience for both of our families, which has become the one family, and to try to do something, additionally, he's doing something that's unique, I'm doing something unique, but another thing that we can kind of together tag team and answer questions, just get into cool conversations. I don't know. It's a great idea that he had, and I love it. And we're probably calling it, well, I don't want to say what we're calling it. We already have a name, but we'll release that name together because it's a really cool name, actually. But it could be the M&M Brothers or something like that. Like the back in
astrophysics to the max.
Say again?
And I watch you guys every day.
Oh,
I love
awesome.
that astrophysics. And I think those pictures of the sun he has are just so fantastic.
Oh my goodness. You know, I saw today too, I was on Scott from Planet X. I was checking out his video today. Oh man, I'm so blown away by the facts that there's something going on around the sun and no one's talking about it, but Wages and Planet X, just, I don't even understand. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people talking about it, but mainstream science isn't talking about this. What? It just doesn't make sense, you know?
And they're hiding it from us too, you know? That's a crime against humanity, right there.
In a way, and this, I haven't spoken to Scott personally. Wages and we chat all the time, but I haven't spoken to Scott, but I would be curious to see, you know, this is just something I'm thinking because I know how some of these things work. Like Jupiter has moons and we have a moon and every single planet seems to have something. Maybe nobody ever thought the sun also has something, you know what I mean? Like a moon or something, even though it doesn't need it because it's the sun, but it's a body and it always has something traveling around it. We just call our thing a moon because it illuminates. This thing is probably not doing much for the sun, you know what I mean? But like if it's constantly just circling around the sun, it could be a moon, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here, but because my first thought when I found the platform recently was, wow, this is amazing. When did it get there? And all of a sudden it's in, you know, did it just come? Where did it come from somewhere? Because I always heard Nibiru was on a 3,600 year orbit, and it comes around the sun at some point, and then it comes close to planet Earth, and it's got this weird elliptical orbit. And so my thought was, is this Nibiru? And if it is, it wouldn't stay around the sun. It would go back out, unless the 3,600 years is in play, and now we're talking about 50 years before it goes 10 feet from the sun and 50 feet from, you know what I mean? And it's just such a slow process. We can't see it with our human eye. I don't know, but it would be cool to ask Scott about that.
Yeah, here lately they had those coronal mass ejections. Mm-hmm. With double whammy.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw when Wages was broadcasting on that. It was crazy.
These ejections are either they're manifesting these orbs or whatever they are. They're thinking maybe they're the core of brown dwarf stars or something, and they're locked in an orbit close to the sun, and we can't see them unless they're energy there. You still there? Yeah,
I am. I'm thinking because when you said that, like, and that would also lead to my thought about multiple, because you know that like Jupiter has lots of moons. It's like not just one moon. There's like 5 moons or something, right? How many moons are there on Jupiter? Somebody know? Like, how many moons on Jupiter? I think it's a joke. Like, the moons of Jupiter. Maybe it's 2. I don't know. What? But there's moons. And there's a bunch, right? So maybe the sun has moons. And again, we can't visualize them as moons because they're next to the friggin' sun. But like, that would sort of make a little sense to me, you know, that's what's happening, is that this thing that we call the sun, which is the center of our universe, actually has something closer to where these planets going around it in a much further elliptical orbit. But right around it, there's these moons that just go around like every day or two, whatever. I don't know how quickly it happens. That's the thing. Right. I don't know anything about this. I'm just speaking off the cuff, but I think it would make sort of sense. I'm curious what people think in the chat about that idea.
You don't even know what dark matter is, you know?
Yeah.
And the entire universe has more dark matter in it than actual matter or visible matter.
You know what's interesting? That's funny you say that. I saw a great article yesterday that said, and I think I pulled it up. Let me see if I could show this to you. I found this thing that was mind-blowing. It said something about how, let's see if this is it. No, that's not it. It said something about how there is, no, that's not it. It said that the human brain looks surprisingly like the universe. And it said that the amount of, and then they use these same the 75%, 25%, that there's 75% dark matter in the universe and only 25% of actual physical bodies. And they said that's just like, and I started thinking about the planet. Isn't our Earth 75% water, 25% land?
And so are our bodies.
So wait a second. Maybe there is a universal code here for everything, where the universe is just a brain. Okay? The universe is just some massive brain, and when we scale that universe down, which is God's brain, we each have our own little universe in our heads, which is our own brains, right? I mean, I don't know. It's a crazy thought. And we all have 75-25, this matter thing. Maybe we're only able to use 25% of our brain power. Like, it's a weird thing. Everything's 75-25, 75% water, 25% land, 75% dark matter, 25% actual matter in the universe or in outer space. So something weird there. There's something weird there. And it's probably a different thing. Like we're saying 75-25. I bet you it's something like 23-77. You know what I mean? Like it's not a perfect 75-25, but I'm sure that whatever that formula is, and maybe it's 77.77, and you know what I mean? It's something that across the board, our brains, everything is exactly the same on that freaking figure. I don't know. It's just a weird theory I'm having in the moment.
Yeah. The human resonance, I think there's something big with that right there. You know?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That is really something, and it's more of a mystery than anything else.
It sure is. You know what? Hilly said that there's 79 moons on Jupiter. 79 moons. Now, if we could just imagine for a second that Jupiter's massive, right? But how much bigger is the sun than Jupiter?
Right.
The sun is like, I can't visualize, but if you look at it visually, we see Jupiter when we look in this direction. It's like 6 times the size of the Earth or whatever, right? But you turn in that direction, it's like 10 Jupiters to fit in the sun, I think. I wish I knew all this. Someone's got to fill me in because you guys do watch Wages. You do watch. Look at this. Hilly says it's 27.32. I was right. 73 and 27. See, I told you, it's not a perfect 75-25, but it's got to be something in there so the 27.32, I'm pretty sure that if you found an Einstein or something like that, somebody who's got the ability to open up and connect, they're hitting it to 27.32 as well, as far as brain power. Like, I don't know. I'm wondering if all this stuff down the line connects, you know?
Yeah. I believe in God to the max.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's kind of keeping everything in check right now. And you know, the big gas giants, they absorb a lot of those big asteroids that are floating around.
Do they really?
And that's for our question.
Interesting.
The gas giants, you know, Saturn and Jupiter, and the big ones, they absorb a lot of those big asteroids that would just annihilate us.
That's actually great. So they wind up getting in the path essentially of what we are, you know, from instead of hitting us, they wind up being absorbed or knocked out from that atmosphere, from that planet. That's interesting.
One of these physicists went out on a limb, and he said that our planet would not exist if it weren't for them protecting us.
Wow.
It's like our magnetosphere does with the smaller ones.
That's interesting. So it's almost acting as a shield.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's actually quite an interesting theory as well.
It's all by God for our benefit.
You know, it's an interesting theory as well, that if this entire, let's call it project, I always joke that this was a science project at some point in history. They had 10 different scientists, right? This is a good movie. This would be a great movie. 10 scientists are in a room together. They're like, look, each of you have to create a new civilization, a new world, and each one creates an Earth. All 10 of them created an Earth, and one of them's an Earth, and the other one's like some lizard world or whatever. But they all created like a new world with people, with what they may call species. Okay, and here's a new species or whatever. And each of them are like pet projects. And these scientists stand above us in this universe, looking down with their little magnifying glasses on. Oh, look what Mark's doing today, that idiot. You know what I mean? And it's like, this is a science project, you know? And because I have a feeling, to me, this seems like a science project. It seems like what started as a science project just got out of control. And they're like, well, let's just leave that one alone. Let's go and work on the other one. We can't adjust this one anymore. They're a lost cause.
And because of evil is so rampant in our world, that means that there has to be a God. You know, if you're good, you've got evil.
Yes.
But there can't be good without evil.
Yep.
But there can't be evil without God.
Absolutely.
You know, and he's step in here one of these days and help us all.
Well, I think he is. You know, again, I have a theory, and my theory is every single generation since Jesus was here, there's been another. He wasn't here once. He comes always, every single generation in existence. And it may not be in a one-person form. It's in a uniform existence through multiple people to become the one individual. And my theory is if you didn't have that, we would have all been gone way before now. If you didn't have that, if you didn't have that light, it would be all over.
The angels, you know what I mean?
Yep, exactly. And if you look back through time, I bet you, and I've never done this research, but I bet you could look back every 10 to 15 to 20 years, you could find somebody who stepped up and did something really glorious for the world, or it was something really positive that led people towards the light. Every single generation. Was that Jesus? Could be. Or was it a piece of Jesus shining through that individual generation by generation in order to keep us all on the path? I believe so.
Most definitely.
You know, and one day he'll come back in the physical form. But I truly believe that, you know, it sounds crazy when I say these things. I was put here as part of his plan, and a lot of us are. Wages is too. You know, there's a reason for me being here. It's not just to come out here and put on a show. It's to literally take you and me and Wendy and Hilly and Candace and make us one again. And that is why I'm here. And I truly believe that a lot of the history books have been formed for us to stay in line, to stay in control and to do what they want us to do. But if you get back to the essence of the messages of the Lord Christ, whatever you want to say, it's what we do here on Real Talk. And that's why I know everything else is a lie, because I would never ever say to you or to anybody else that the only way to heaven is through Jesus, because I know that's not true. I know that is a way. It is a way. But God and Jesus were trying to tell you and trying to tell me and trying to tell Daniel and Bex and Rob that we have the light already within us. All we have to do is connect to it. God is in each and every one of us. So why would we leave ourselves to find him?
Exactly, yeah.
Why would we leave ourselves to
find him? A mustard seed.
Yeah, he's already there. You just need to look within and connect to him, because he wants you to find, he's like in a chamber in your heart. And all you have to do is literally search for years and years until you find that door. And then a few more years to look for the key. And then once you actually turn that lock and open the door, you experience what you're meant to do in your life.
Exactly. Yeah. I say I'm not religious, but I sure am spiritual.
Yeah.
I have a connection there with the creator of the cosmos.
I think you and I see things very similarly. I grew up as a Catholic, and I still truly believe that there is a lot of the great things that came out of all religions, and then there's a lot of detail created by man. And the only reason I know that to be true is because when I search my soul now, and I've been doing this for 691 days in a row, this is church to me. When I'm here and I'm live with the universe connecting, I'm getting the truth from the universe. I don't need to read anything else. In fact, every word that's ever come out of me has not been in a book. I didn't go to school for this. I didn't study philosophy. I didn't study religion. I didn't study theology. I'm just a guy who's connected to a passion I can't explain, but I'm going to let it speak every single day. And I truly believe that it was intentional for me to be here. And it just took Donald Trump in order to force me out of the darkness and into the light. And that's why I say when people hate Donald Trump, if you actually like Real Talk, you should love Donald Trump, because of the hatred in this world towards a president who didn't deserve it, it forced me out of the darkness and into the light and to build our own light.
Yeah. And I think the Republicans are all murderous, carpetbagging gypsies.
I mean, the Democrats.
Crazy. The things that they get away with.
You know what? You're so right. I had a conversation with someone earlier today, and again, it's a crazy thing that I can't even tell you who I was speaking to. And they're like, can you believe this guy is going to be the president? And this is what he said to me. He goes, can you believe what's going on with the president? Like, this guy's going to be our president. He goes, and this is the craziest thing. He goes, do you know why Florida doesn't vote blue? I'm like, no, I mean, I know it's usually a toss-up state, but like, no, why do? He goes, I'll tell you why. He said, because the amount of Cubans and, Central America, Mexico, all these people dealt with communism. They know, they see what's coming. And they're like, I don't want any of that. And they all vote Republican. He said, so we have a state that should be straight blue because it's all immigrants from different parts of the Central America and South America and from Cuba, but instead it's a toss-up and usually goes Republican because they don't want freaking communism. That is very telling.
Yeah, I think I made a mistake there. I meant to say Democrats when I said murder.
No, I caught that. I caught that, yeah. I totally caught that. I actually made a joke about it, but it may have gone by very quick. But yeah. I think you're so right. They get away with everything. That's why I joked. I think Candace jokingly the other day said, Mark, you should run for president. I'm like, never. Unless the Democrat Party had an opening and I pretended that I was a Democrat, like Donald Trump did. Or Donald Trump pretended to be a Republican. Because if you look at Donald Trump's accomplishments, guys, a lot of them were extremely democratic, extremely liberal. First president to hire an openly gay person on his cabinet. He hired 5 openly gay people onto his cabinet, and no president in history ever did one. Barack Obama never did that. And so, again, I see a guy like this who's open to change, bringing, all the things that happen. You got to look through it. And Mark Klosik actually sent me a full list the other day, and I couldn't even read through it. There's so much stuff this guy did with the devil on his back the whole time. Think about that. He had the devil on his back before he even walked into the Oval, and it's been there since, and the dude still got so much done. And now this idiot's telling us he's going to roll back all of the positive things that happened for our country. I'm scared.
Yeah.
It's a sleep sofa. I do have to say, though, and I think you probably agree with me because we are on seeing things clearly. There's no way this guy's going to be the president. Based on what I saw yesterday, this will be overturned and there will be a civil war in the streets. And I'm worried about that because what I have learned is the entire year we were all right. The right does not protest. The right does not go out and burn buildings or burn businesses. They don't cause rioting in the streets. They go, oh, shucks, and they go to work the next day. And that's what this whole process has taught us. And that's why I have to say it's almost a better thing that Joe Biden fake won, because you see the true nature of the Republican Party. They don't do the crap that the Democrats have done all year long and said, that's Trump's people. I never could understand that. So they love Trump so much that they're burning the streets. They're in the streets saying, F Trump, I hate Trump. I guess that's the new Webster's Dictionary definition for I love Trump. What?
I could never understand why there's 2 parties. Why do you have to be one or the other? Mm-hmm. That's already dividing the people.
For sure.
And if the government wants to stay in power and the corruption that it represents, they have to get rid of the way the public will defend themselves, and that's what's done.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I don't know if people realize this, but the whole reason why we have a Second Amendment is to protect ourselves in case there's a coup and you need to overthrow your government. Now, that sounds like a pretty crazy thing when we're in 2020 and they've got, equipment we can't really fight back against. But it was the intention of the Second Amendment, is to protect your rights and to be able to overthrow your government if they try to take over. And which is why people don't understand why you can't just call Joe Biden a president-elect based on where we are right now. Because that's not how the Constitution is written. The Constitution is written so you could never have a coup and take over our country. There is a safeguard in place.
Yeah, you protect your freedom that way.
Mm-hmm. So I personally don't have a gun. I don't have an actual gun. I've been toying with the idea because I have 3 young kids. I got a wife. We're here in this house, and if things go bad, I don't think that they're going to like when I say, let's just love each other. I don't think they're going to like when I say, look, we're here to help each other find the light. They're going to be like, bang, 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 buddy. So I'm nervous about not being prepared if something like that happens.
Civil War, I think, is inevitable.
Yeah.
It's going to get a whole worse before it gets better.
It will, because they're so unreasonable.
I do see it getting better, but change has to come about, and it's got to be a global change.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sad because here's a guy who didn't get paid the whole time he was in office, did a job, didn't get paid for it. He got abused every single second of it because they didn't like that he was changing this corrupt system to drain a swamp that desperately needs to be drained. Nancy Pelosi should be in a different country. She is evil. So is Schumer. So are all of these people that have been trying to overthrow this government for 4 years.
Yeah. It was a felony to talk against the president, to make threats or anything like that.
You know what?
And why don't they enforce that stuff?
Yeah, and you bring up a good.
Understand.
You bring up a very good point, because you may not have seen this yet because you've been on for 3 weeks. Maybe you have. Episode 25 of the Donald Trump Show is called Gaslighting an American Election. And in that episode, you see, what's her name? Maxine Waters. You see Madonna saying she wants to blow up the White House. Like, ridiculous stuff, and no backlash. Like, wait a second. We're the party of protesting and rioting and division. But we have people saying, if you see someone in a restaurant, you get in their face and you tell them you're not welcome. You're not welcome here anymore. What? I think a division happens when you have a president being elected or sworn in, and 72 congressmen and senators decided to boycott the new president becoming the president of the United States. That is where the division started in our country. If you truly care about this nation, you say, look, Hillary lost. She was an evil person. And if she was our president during this right now, we would have 1 million dead. Guaranteed. She's a horrible human being. And I feel bad saying that, but she's done so much against this country and so much selfishly for herself. And I truly believe there's they call it the Clinton body count for a reason. You should go and research that. Go watch the movie on the Clinton body count, and you will get scared. You will get scared. The craziest one was when Bill was the governor in Arkansas, and they go on this flight down to, I think it was somewhere like Mexico, in order to pick up drugs. Bill Clinton was a drug dealer. Yeah. And he's selling drugs in Arkansas in order to raise money for his campaign. And so this guy who was like a former pilot, he's going down and collecting and bringing it back. He's like, they said you're not allowed to look at what we're picking up. He goes, but I never travel anywhere without knowing what my luggage is, what I'm picking up. He said, so I saw, and it was cocaine. Okay? Bags and bags and bags. Guess who else was there? Apparently, the older GW was also there. They were in cahoots with this, apparently. I don't know. Now, this is a while ago I heard this, but definitely Bill, okay? And so one of his personal campaign managers at the time when he's running for president or running for re-election in Arkansas, whatever it was, he's driving down in the highway, okay? On the highway, there's a drive-by on the highway. While they're driving on the highway, there's a drive-by, okay, in Arkansas, machine guns, the entire car just machine gunned out. The guy is killed. He had something he was going to share about Bill Clinton, and they murdered him. And that's just one, guys. Go in there and watch all the things that they are connected to, all the people that somehow mysteriously died. It's scary. And of course, obviously, this guy who got killed in the jail last year, the scumbag. What's that guy's name again? Remember the one who had the kid thing? Epstein. Bill Clinton went to his island 26 times in 2 years. That means he went there every month, and 2 months he went there twice in the 2-year period. So of all of the, shadiness that took place there, you have a former president of the United States who was there once a month engaging in really, really shady activity. And then the guy winds up murdered in jail.
Do you remember the 2 teenagers that were walking along the railroad track that witnessed the exchange?
No.
And they turned up dead?
No, I didn't hear this.
Yeah, it was the early days of Clinton being in Little Rock, Arkansas. The teenagers were walking down the track, and they disappeared. They didn't come home from their walk. You've never heard of that, huh?
No.
Look at that.
I got to look at that list again.
That
Wow.
was when the murderous rampage first started. That was back before he was really, really well known.
So the first snuff was 2 kids.
Smuggling operation that was transferring goods and everything, and they walked up on it, and they disappeared.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was all hushed up.
That to me is telling. So you've got this husband and wife couple who has this plan on world domination. And their first snuff out is 2 young kids that saw something they shouldn't have seen. And from there's no turning back. When you can take out 2 young kids who have no life yet, they're on their way to understanding that they have an existence and they're going to become something, and you snuff that out, It's all downhill from there. It's all downhill from there. Like, whatever. Wife, this guy, business partner, who cares? We killed 12 and 15 years. You know what I mean? That is you. There's no coming back after that.
Business partners that died or committed suicide when their head winds up in another county. You know, how do you do that?
And then they become president.
Then walk county lines.
You know,
without a head.
I do have to say that what's interesting here is, and this is why I'm praying that the truth prevails, is if Hillary Clinton had any idea how popular Donald Trump truly was, they would have stolen it from him as well. They would have played the same game plan as they did, but they really, truly believed the polls, and they thought they were going to demolish Trump. They believed there's no way this guy's going to even get 30 million votes. We're going to destroy him. Now this time around, they're like, we know we have 4 years of inflammatory hate towards this guy. So we have a really, really jived up base over here that wants to get this guy out. That's a good start. But we still have a sleep sofa for a candidate. Look, just keep him in the basement. Keep him in the basement. Wait, but no, we need to get him and come out and say something. No, keep him in the basement. We got this. How are you going to get this? You need to campaign, don't you? No, you don't need to campaign. We're going to give him more votes than Barack Obama.
Yeah.
What?
I remember very distinctly Joan Rivers. She spoke out about how ugly Hillary was or something about that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
brought it out of her past. As she's walking up these steps, and within 2 weeks she died.
Yep. I can tell you even better, or the tail end, it's even better than that. So she's walking up the steps, and they say, Joan, you look fabulous today. Tell us, when are we going to have the first gay president? And she goes, well, we already have Barack. And the guy goes, what? She goes, yeah, you know he's, and Michelle is a tranny. She says, okay? And I never heard this in my life. So she starts walking up the stairs, and the lady says, what? The guy who's like, he's Entertainment TV, whatever. He goes, what? And she goes, it's okay. Don't worry about it. We all know it. And now she died 2 weeks later. She came out and said that Barry is likes men, and that Michelle is really Miguel. Look, it's really Miguel. And so that was the end of Joan. Like, she went in for a straight up regular procedure, and she died during it. And I heard too, here's a funny thing. So I went, after I saw that clip, I found 2 videos of Barry, and he's in front of like this whole group of army generals. He's speaking to someone had died, and he's doing he's speaking to the crowd, and Sleep Sofa Joe's sitting there in front, and Sleep Sofa Joe's looking down while Barry's speaking, right? He's like looking down like this, and Barry goes, just want to thank you all for joining me today. And Michelle, no, he goes, and Michael and I want to thank. He said Michael and I want to thank, and when he said Michael and I want to thank, this is what Sleep Sofa Joe goes. He goes, and he goes like this, looks up at him like that, and then he puts his head back down and like just kind of. But the moment he said Michael and I, he goes like that and looks up like, you shouldn't have said that. You meant to say Michelle. And then he looks back down. There's one more great one. He's with Bear Grylls, and they're doing some sort of back or whatever. They're hiking through the field. As they come up over the mound, the guy goes, oh, so what do you do for fun on the side or whatever? And he goes, well, when Michelle and I, he started to say Michael, and then he caught himself halfway through Michael, and he goes, Michelle. He calls her Michael when they're not in public. Because she's a dude. Because she looks like a linebacker. Because she can take me out. Look, I'm worried about it. Guys are going to take somebody out. I'm like, you know what she reminds me of? You ever seen Waterboy? Yeah, I think she may be Waterboy's dad. You know, he comes out of nowhere. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It would have been Waterboy's mom. Comes out of nowhere like a linebacker and just takes out the dad. Look, I'm your daddy. And takes him out. I can't believe I just did that impression. We have to do some Adam Sandler impressions here, I think, too. Oh, what you do? Oh, my goodness, guys. Biden can't even remember who the competition is. The only person he needs to beat is himself. Look, I'm voting for Joe Trump. Don't forget it. Look, my Aunt Judy? No, sorry. Guys, I'll tell you what. This happened yesterday. Tom nailed this. He goes, look, regardless of what happens, if this guy stays in, we're going to have 4 years of comedy here on the Real Talk Show because I'm going to destroy that sleep sofa every single day. I'm going to put a hole in the friggin' sleep sofa. And be like, look, I tried to lay in the sleep sofa. I fell down to the earth. What happened? Oh, this is a Sleepy Joe Biden sleep sofa. It's made of freaking feathers. Ooh. Like you lay down on Sleep Sofa Joe and it turns to dust. You're like, what happened to my sleep sofa? Gone. Oh, Sharon said we have a bot in here. Do we have a bot? I'll tell you guys, we've been getting slammed lately by the Google moderator team. They're like, oh, great. It always seems to be whenever we're live, I guess. I'm still dealing with this whole YouTube situation where they have this new setup where you can determine whether or not your content is safe for all advertisers. They have given every content creator the opportunity to say, look, we trust you. You give it the all clear, and until you prove to us that you're not worthy. Now, on the top of my YouTube page now, when I go into my back end, I should open this to read it to you. It says, congratulations. Based on your stellar consistency with being advertiser friendly, you are in a great position. You'll be fine or whatever. You're going to be able to be green. Well, then why is it that every single time I monetize my show after it's over, like even right now, this is a real estate show, has nothing to do about anything. You see CV19 there, but whatever. Every time I push monetize and it goes green, nope, yellow, starts green and it goes nope, yellow. And then I got to click request review and then they manually review that show. So 2 days later, when we've done 2 new shows and nobody's ever going to see that show again, now we'll let it be free and good for all advertisers. I've got a 100% rating. Every single show we've ever done is clear for all advertisers because I don't swear. And we're positive and we play music and we have fun. So there's no reason for them to give me a yellow. And the top of the screen says, hey, you're doing great. You're going to get green. So if somebody understands all of that and just can take and read the writing on the wall, put an equal sign next to it, and then write shadow banned. Like if I wasn't shadow banned, I would be getting the green light you told me I'd get. But every single day I get a yellow. Every day, no matter what, 5 minutes, 4 hours, you get a yellow. But you say that I'm a 100%. Yeah, but our system has your reach completely shut off. We're shadow banning you. We don't like your agenda. Oh, you want to connect us? No. We want to divide you. What, are you kidding me? Wait, hold on a minute. You want to bring souls together? No, that's not going to work. We got to hate each other. We got to split up this planet. What are you doing to me? You're making me look bad. Like, that's what's going on. Jerry said the Restream bot, good to see you. Yeah, our Restream bot is something different. So our Restream bot is me. So if I type in, like, let's see if this shows up that way. I'm just going to say hi. If I type in hi to you guys right now, it may come through as Restream bot. Let's see. Did it come through as yeah. Did it say it? I don't see it. I think it says, no, it comes through as Real Talk. But sometimes if I'm on DLive, so the reason why we have the Restream bot is this. We're on 7 or 8 platforms currently. So right now we're on DLive, we're on Periscope, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and then we're on Twitch. So really, if you're on any of these platforms, follow the show over there, please. And while that's going on, if someone from Twitch was to send a message to us right now, we'd see it through the Restream bot. So that's really cool. So people will still be able to interact with us and be a part of our family, even if they're not necessarily on YouTube with us. So I do love the Restream bot for that side of it. But I don't like the Google moderator bot. That guy can go pound sand, okay? You can't come on the Real Talk program and start moderating. How dare you? Are you kidding me? Elbow in the fotch, eh? That's what you got to do with that guy. Give him an elbow in the fotch. Right, Jerry? You guys are awesome. So listen, did we lose you, buddy? Yeah, we lost him along the way there. I go into my whole rant here, and we didn't get to finish the conversation. But how cool is it to get a nice call in here during the day? during the day. So let's see, guys. It is 3:30 currently. I got an appointment in about 45 minutes that I'm going to run out to. I cannot wait for tonight's show. We'll be live for Friday Night Live. I'm talking about like 10:30 till like 2:30, maybe 3. I'm just saying. Actually, I got to get up early for an appointment tomorrow, so we'll do 10:30 till 4. I'm just kidding. Trinity, thank you so much. Google is the devil. Yeah, Shad. I think that the devil is everywhere. It's kind of sad. You know, someone the other day said they made a really weird statement that they said that like most people are good or like most people are bad. They said something really weird. And I feel like you cannot judge a group of people as a whole. You can't, everybody is their own individual. So you can't go out there and tell someone that they're better than something or something else is. I just don't get that. Like, we live in a world that's so messed up. Don't tell me to be a certain way. Do not tell me to be a certain way. We're going to come out here. We're going to connect and have some fun. And at the end of it, an hour and 40 minutes into what was supposed to be a 20-minute Real Talk Real Estate 101, we get to the juice. But Google is the devil. You know, my feeling is this. Everybody's born with good intentions. Along the way, we are sidetracked and we are influenced by evil. We're influenced by bad people that have us start to see things their way. And the problem is with their way is evil seems okay when you start to allow it to seep in day after day. You know, the negativity has become so norm that people are used to just snapping at each other. And I want the positivity to be so normal that people smile at each other without being, you know, without having to, without someone coming over and saying something that makes you smile. I want to get back to a time where people just smile to be alive. And I know we're far from that currently, but my life mission is to make sure we get there. And we will. We will, my friends. Absolutely. So guys, if you have any requests for the night, I'm going to also pick up, I get this mic stand. This is what happened last night. You guys know it. I destroyed my mic stand, my special podcast mic stand. I mean, this is actually not bad doing it this way, but the problem is when I play the guitar, it won't work. Will not work. So I do need that stand. I got to get it working. And I want to thank you, Tom, and anybody else who, I think I saw another donation earlier. I just want to thank you guys for donating to the show and supporting this program. Super appreciate it. Hold on. I think I saw, and of course now it's not here. But if you did donate, I think I saw an extra one besides Tom. Please say hello quickly so I can just thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Or I'll find out after the show and then thank you tonight. But super appreciated, guys. You are amazing. Remember, this is just part 1 of day 691 in a row. That's right. I'll be back later. Who's joining me? Music? I have a face swap for you tonight, I'm sure. May take some more phone calls. I don't know. This is an unscripted show for 690. Are you 691 in a row? We're just getting started, though. So, join me tonight. Subscribe. Ding that bell. And I'll see you just about 10:30. It's MARKPIRES. And it's real talk. I'll see you later, guys. I love you.